Hey everyone, this video is about something that I'm really passionate about. It's about the EV industry, right? Electric vehicles, particularly about a company which is doing great work in this space in India, Tata, right? You might have seen a lot of Tata's EVs going through your cities or towns. So I'll be just breaking down some pointers and trying to say my view or my perspective and establish that Tata is going to be the big fish in terms of EV vehicles in India. Right. Initially, let's look at the past. Right. How Tata Motors as a company have been performing. Right. So in 2015-16 year, Tata only had five of exactly 4.5 percentage of the total passenger vehicle market share in India, right? And that is definitely not a good space to be, right? If you are a car company and if you only have 5% of the entire market cap, that is not a sustainable number, right? The the most important reason why it was like that because the products or the cars that Tata was manufacturing back then wasn't appealing to the personal car buyers, someone who is buying a car for their own personal uses. They didn't see Tata as a really good alternative or option when they compare it with Hyundai, Honda, Maruti, etc. Right? Most of the sales were happening in the taxi department. And now in 2022, things have really changed. And right now, the company has about 10% in terms of market share in India. So in just about 5 to 6 years, they were able to double their market share, which is not a small feat for a car company, right? The major reasons that they point for this huge jump is that in 2016, the entire management of Tata Motors changed and a new management took over. And people say that the decision making process became a lot more easier and faster. And the second one is that they decided to revamp the total uh, design fleet and introduced cars like or designs like Tata Nexon, Harrier, Safari, etc., which was totally different from what Indians used to see in the road, right? And especially looking at Tata Nexon, which was a really good game changer for them, really helped increase or double their market share in just 5 years' time. And coming to the point of electric passenger vehicles, right now Tata has 75% of the market share. In normal passenger vehicles, they only have 10%, but when it comes to electric passenger vehicles, they currently have 75% electric market share in India, which is a huge feat, right? And the leading player is Tata Nexon EV version of Tata Nexon, right? And right now, Tata Nexon EV is selling at a rate of 3,500 per month, which is about 40,000 units per year, which is far away from the second or third alternatives in Indian markets, right? Hyundai also has introduced option or a model called Kona, but the problem is that it sells at 20 to 25 lakh range, which is not the ideal case for Indian markets, right? And Tata EV segment is big enough or became a good success, so much that they decided to make it a subsidiary under the company Tata or Tata Motors. And right now, the subsidiary, which is only focused on EV, is valued at 9 billion, right? So it is definitely is promising, and it also has enough resources to double down on this current state that they have, right? And the two major pivotal decisions that Tata made that helped them capture this much market share are: number one, during 2015-2016 time, they found out that due to, via, I don't know, really good market search or something like that, they found out that Indians were not willing to pay a, a premium of not more than 25% to buy EVs, right? And that's why they priced Tata Nexon EV just 25% or 30% higher than the IC version of Tata. That means the normal petrol version or diesel version of Tata Nexon, right? So they got that thing right. Other players couldn't. If you take the example of Kona by Hyundai, which is not ideal price range, but looking at this data, Tata made this choice, and that clicked, right? The second thing is that it is not just limited to Indian markets, is that anyone who is trying to buy EV is absolutely having this thing called range anxiety, right? They want to go the distance. They want to understand how much kilometers that they can cover with one charge. So Tata came up with the solution, and a lot of technical engineering, they were able to deliver 312 kilometers per charge, which is huge. I think which is some of the biggest ranges that any company is providing at that price range. Right? And the third, another thing that comes under price or range anxiety is that um, the availability of charging stations. Right? People think that they won't be able to travel interstate or inter-district with EVs, but Tata Power is coming up and setting up a lot of charging infrastructures in Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities in India to solve this. And these all factors are helping them a lot in terms of sales. And these are things that are happening right now. And looking at the future, what are the things that are that will happen, right? Number one thing is that Indian Oil Corporation has announced that they will be setting up 10,000 EV stations in 10,000 of their current existing petrol pumps or gas stations, right? Which is a huge boost or push from the government organization. Second one is that very interesting thing is that Tata found out that India will be selling 7 million passenger vehicles in the year of 2030, and out of the 7 million, 2 million will be EVs or electric vehicles, right? That means about 30% of the sales that are going to happen in 2030 will be EV, right? So our roads will be flooded with EV. And if you look, if Tata will be able to hold on to their current market share of 75%, that means that in the year of 2030, they will have a sale of about 1.5 million or 15 lakh. That means currently they have 40,000 in the year of 2022, and in just 8 years time, the market is going to expand in a way that they can sell 15 lakh EVs in a year. It is only getting started, right? And other global huge players like Honda, Ford, Mercedes, and even 31 governments of different countries have already pledged that they will be stop manufacturing IC engines or petrol or diesel engines by 2030 or 2040, right? So the global trend is also towards that. There will be no more IC engines being manufactured after 2030 or 40, right? And definitely in India, Tata has this early mover advantage. In my opinion, they have the data of what Indians want in an EV, because they're already selling 3,000 plus Tata Nexons in a month. So they have that data, right? And they can come up with the right price point, the right features, the kind of range, or how do Indians use EV, things like that. Everything is with them, and I don't think any other player has that much data, right? And recently, last week, Tata launched a concept EV car called Avinya, which looks incredible, right? If you search on Google about that, you will find out that the design is really great, and I think that they have that design potential with them, right? And following Tata's path, Mahindra is also working on setting up equally good electric ecosystem. As an EV fan, I hope that Mahindra also comes into the picture and gives Tata a competition. So hopefully by 2030, EVs are going to start at least getting a really good limelight in India, and it will help less pollute our top polluting cities maybe. So yeah, that's it. And if you like the video, hit a thumbs up, leave a comment, share, subscribe, etc. See you in the next video.